France. Our championship leader is not with us for this round, so that means for the first time this season, Hugo de Wilde is not going to win the race. So we're going to have a new winner for the first time in Virtual Funcup European Series as Hugo prepares for the start of the Formula Renault Eurocup Championship. We brought a slightly new format for the last round, and we're going to bring that back for this one. 2 races, 30 minutes each, and race 2 will be a reverse grid of the top 8. My name's Chris McCarthy. Great to be here as ever. Friend of mine, Qiyam Alvarez, is joining me. Qiyam, you were here for the 3rd round. You probably know a lot more about this circuit than I do. So why don't you bring us up to speed with what happened last time and a little bit more info on the track.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Chris. Such a pleasure, once again, to be at your side to commentate, to cover this 4th round of the championship already. Time flies as we wait patiently for the racing season to resume. But as you said, we're here in Ledenon, a beautiful racetrack in the region of Le Gard in France, and 3.1 kilometer long with up to between 13 to 15 corners anti-clockwise and a lot of different direction and elevation changes. So this is going to be a pretty intense and very challenging, exciting track for the drivers and for those of you watching with us tonight. So we can wait for the action to begin. As you said, Chris, last time out we were in Manicourt, another very interesting French track, as we got a couple in the 11 round series that we have this year. Manicourt with a double race format, as you said. This was the first time that we tried it out, and it worked out pretty much very good, very good indeed. And so why not keep it? That will be again the case tonight. But as you said, Hugo de Wilde, the leader of the competition, is not here tonight. He's busy preparing for the season, but he did win the last 2 races, race 1 and race 2 in Manicourt, making for a 3 victory run for him since the start of the championship. So big domination from him. It was very exciting in Manicourt with a double win for Hugo, as you said, but surprises came from the 2 Frenchmen, the brothers Laquiez, Antoine and Louis Laquiez, who stepped on the podium twice in 2nd and 3rd. Chris Hart as well was involved in a lot of good battles, as well as Maxime Lénard, that we're going to have tonight driving the number 50 instead of Hugo de Wilde. So we had plenty of action, plenty of excitement on the Manicourt track. And this is going to be, once again, very, very nice to follow who can actually win instead of Hugo de Wilde. Could it be, once again, the number 50 with Maxime Lénard at the wheel? That's a lot of questions that we're going to have an answer for tonight.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's great to be at the Ledenon circuit. It looks like a circuit, as you said, lots of undulation changes, lots of overtaking places. Would you say, Qiyam?
Yes, quite a few actually, and this is once again, you can actually spot the overtaking places that you have on the track. But once again, this is up to the drivers to find their own. But you can say that in the, of course, the start-finish straight is one of the few very good spots for overtaking. But once again, after the first 3 corners, this is not a double, but a triple left. After that one, we have a couple of hairpins, the Virage du Pont, the number 5th, and the corner number 6, are 2 of the best overtaking spots that we have. And another one is in the 3rd sector of the track, downhill, going between the corner number 11 and 15, before actually getting back on the start-finish line and going uphill. So that's going to be interesting, but I guess that these are actually overtaking spots in theory, but we're going to have to wait for the first race to see where the drivers actually can get a good shot at overtaking others.
Yes, we go on board with Louis Laquiez at the moment as we are coming down the start-finish straight. So we are in a qualifying session at the moment, which is going to set the grid for the first race. And race number 2, as we said, will be a reverse grid of the top 8. After the top 8, it's going to be pretty much wherever they finish, that is where they start. Race number 2. Time qualifying is 50 minutes long. We are a good few minutes into that already. So I guess that gives us a chance to talk through the drivers and where they are in the championship. Hugo de Wilde isn't here. He leads by just under 40 points in the championship, 35 points advantage over Max Leonard. So we'll have a look at Max next. He is in fourth place. Sorry, he's in the colours of what Hugo de Wilde usually runs. Second in the championship, well clear of Pierre Stockton. How impressed have you been with his performances so far?
Of the Pierre Stockton, Chris?
No, Max Leonard.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah, Max, indeed, on the screen. Yes, very, very impressed, actually. And Maxime has been one of the good surprises from the start of the series, obviously, with a lot of strong finishes. And as you said, his best were twice on second place in Assen and Dijon, fifth and fourth in Manicourt, and he stands in a good position. I mean, the first pursuer behind Hugo de Wilde in the championship. And it's fair to say that Maxime Linard at the wheel of Hugo's car has a good chance to step up to the first place of the championship if he wins, and wishes maybe some bad luck for some of his closest rivals. But his main one, Hugo de Wilde, is not here tonight, and he might indeed lose a bit. The first place of the championship to Maxime Linard if Maxime gets to win the first and the second race as well.
You'd have to say there's almost going to be pressure on him to do that, isn't there? Hugo de Wilde has cleaned up so far. Someone else could clean up here, and if that's going to be anyone, it's going to be Max Leonard.
Yeah, definitely. And but he's not the only one willing to win on this track. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the young brothers Laquiez, Antoine and Louis, fighting again for victory, or at least a podium. So we can expect really strong battles between those two, as well as from Maxime. Pierre Stockton, once again, is also one of the strongest drivers from the UK that we've seen competing since the start of the series. But Riley Phillips as well, down in fifth. Riley, actually, for the information, didn't get the chance to practice a lot on this track, but he seems to be picking up space quite quickly since the start of tonight, because we had like an hour free practice before qualifying. So it's going to be interesting to see what Riley is able to do on this track, considering the lack of practice. And these are just some of the few names that we're going to see certainly battling on top of this standing.
Well, let's go to Pierre Stockton next. He is in fourth place on track, but he is actually third in the championship. There he is. I'm going to ask, actually, Andrew, to give us some of the newer camera angles that we've been installing over the last couple of rounds. Now, he is third in the championship. There you can see nice rear view. That is a front-facing view. We got some in-car views as well, which look really cool. So we're definitely going to be seeing the race from all angles today. Now, he's on 159 points here, in a bit of a close battle with Xavier Ville. So Pierre Stockton, who is in form, I have to say, definitely in the UK Championship, he'll be looking to carry that over and perhaps pick up some podiums here today.
Yeah, and the podium is he didn't achieve one yet in this series since the start of the competition. It was 5 last time out in the second race of Manicourt. It was 5 again in Assen for the opening round, and twice in 8th position as well, Pierre Stockton. So he's been quite consistent in terms of results, but he has the pace, and he's certainly willing to step on that podium once and for all, and one to follow closely indeed.
Yes, indeed. So Pierre Stockton third in the championship. Xavier Ville, he is fourth in the standings. He's down in 10th place at the moment. So we'll have a look at him next. And there he is. He's on an outlap so far. He had a really good start to the championship, Qiyam, but ever since he's been scoring less and less points, 48 at round 2 and 44 at round 3. So he really needs to start getting that form he showed at the first round back.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. Xavier Ville is one of the drivers from the M3M team of Jean-Luc Dubois, aligning 8 cars. We'll get back to that. About 7 cars, sorry, for tonight's round. But Xavier Ville indeed was 6 in Assen, then once again 9 in Dijon, and then last, he just finished in 10th and 12th position in Manicourt. So, he decreased in terms of performance. Not always lucky as well, Xavier Ville. But he has the pace to fight at least in the top 10, and why not picking up pace to include himself in the top 5. So one name to keep an eye on as well, if luck is on his side.
Why don't we go to Pierre-Andre Qiyam next? I believe he's quite actually struggling in this session so far. He is in the pits, but he is 5th in the championship. He scored 50, 40, and 40. So we'll talk a little bit more about him perhaps later in the session. We'll go to Axel Sawyer next. He sits 7th on track currently, and he is 6th in the championship. And there he is. He's actually just come to a stop. And let's hope that doesn't happen in the championship for him as well. 48, 36, and 42 points scored for him. How did he get on at the last round game?
It was actually two pace round for him. It was only 15 in the first race in Manicourt, but then improved a lot to include the top 10. It was 9 in second race. So really, maybe not the results he was certainly hoping for when it comes to the first race, obviously. But it was again, these are the same results that he had 9th and then 15 in Assen and Dijon. So once again, a bit of consistency on his side, but he's capable to do more. We'll see, where he can go on this track.
Why don't we go to Eric Steinlin now, or also known as EFC 282, whatever that means. He is down in 9th place on track. We'll have a look at the Frenchman, one of many drivers here that's going to be on home soil on an out lap. Why don't we jump on board with him as he's just about to start a new lap. So I'll tell you what, Qiyam, as we're on board with Eric Steinlin, why don't you try and talk us around a lap of this Ledenon circuit?
Absolutely, my pleasure. So we're here on the start finish line, and the first not 1 but 3 corners. This is a triple left, actually going downhill. Very easy to lose direction and to go wide on this particular track. Then we have the N3 into slowly the second sector of the track, downhill, all the way to corner number 5. This is the Virage du Pont, and this is the first hairpin of the track with quite an elevation change there as well. Then you go back up, all the power with your foot down onto the corner number 6, and this is Virage de la Carrierasse. This is a French word I'll be certainly unable to translate to you in English, because this is a really a very strange one. Never heard that before, but this is old French, shall we say. Then you go all the way down, corner number 7, number 8. This is Virage du Camion, the track turn, as I can say, and you can go actually wide over there and a bit of a trouble, and unfortunately Eric Steinlin is out.
Oh no, he ruined it. Okay, well there's Eric Steinlin. He is out, and there you go. You can see the graphics of the medical crew who were in no rush to help him out. Why don't we find Laquies, the driver, Louis Laquies, I believe it is, who is in first. Okay, we'll stick with Louis Laquies. Now, him and his brother, very quick so far at this round. Didn't do the first round, Louis Laquies, but ever since he's been scoring big points, Qiyam. So Louis Laquies, you have to say, it could be a fight between the two brothers here. It could definitely be one to watch. Okay, let's go on board with Louis Laquies. Qiyam, I'm going to hand this to you to give this another go. And why don't we do it in French this time?
Okay, no problem, Chris.
Oh no, he's coming to the pits. Oh no. Okay, find us anyone, Andrew, that's not about to come into the pit. Okay, Qiyam, off you go.
Et voici, nous sommes à bord de Louis Laquies, que l'on retrouve donc pour un tour lancé ici sur le circuit de Ledenon, avec l'enchaînement des 3 premiers virages pour Louis, l'une des révélations du championnat ici après 3 épreuves. L'enchaînement ici au milieu du tracé déjà, avec le virage numéro 5, le virage du pont, la première des quelques épingles à cheveux du circuit de Ledenon. La remontée déjà, on le disait, pas mal de changements de niveau pour ce circuit très très bosselé du Ledenon. Deuxième virage très appuyé au sommet de la butte, et c'est le virage numéro 6. Et puis ce sera en descente, la plongée vers le virage de la Courmelle, le virage numéro 7, jusque tout en bas, le virage numéro 8 du camion. Donc un secteur très très sinueux, avec un gros freinage là-bas. On lève le pied, avoir un freinage plus appuyé au niveau de la courbe numéro 9, celle du cavalet. Et puis voici que Louis entame la remontée, et quelle remontée jusqu'à l'enchaînement du virage 10, avant un autre freinage appuyé pour l'épingle à cheveux du virage numéro 11, le virage de la Servie. Très difficile là-bas de, évidemment, perdre du temps si on sort de trop large de cette épingle. Et puis la descente, l'enchaînement du virage 12, 13 et 14. Pas vraiment une ligne droite, pas vraiment un enchaînement de virages difficile à négocier, mais surtout un freinage qu'il faut parvenir à ajuster, voilà, celui-ci, le virage numéro 14, avant de négocier la remontée vers la ligne droite de départ et d'arrivée et la rentrée au box pour Louis Laquiez qui vient de nous compléter un tour aux caméras embarquées du circuit de Ledenon. Thank you, Chris.
Yes, and even had the the courtesy to show us what it's like in the pit lane as well. Nice. So him and his brother, we'll pick up his brother next, as he's not in pit lane. He's in second place on track. And there he is, Antoine Laquiez. Both scored the same amount of points last time, so both had a very good run at the last round, 62.5 points apiece.
Yeah, it was interesting to see in Manicourt, Antoine and Louis who actually shared the podium twice, second and third, and then in reverse, they switched position in the second race. So plenty of points for them, and they could have well, fought for the win, or at least tried to defeat Hugo de Wil, but who was really unreachable once again for this race. So with Hugo not being here with us tonight, there could be a really good opportunity for both of them to fight and maybe claim that win that they were close to do back in Manicourt. But, as we said, there's quite a lot of names as well that could really have something to say up front.
And they are split. Well, they are 8th and 10th in the championship with Antoine 10th. They are split by Riley Phillips, who we talked already about a little bit earlier on. Now, Riley's in the pits, so I'd love to show you him, but he's hiding in this current time, so we'll leave him in pit lane. But as Qiyam said earlier, he hasn't done any testing, so we'll see how he gets on. He's not doing too bad so far. He's 5th. Vincent de Clouseau is then the first driver that appears outside of the top 10. And de Clouseau is in the pits. He's in 15th. Then it will be Jay Shepherd. He's 12th in the championship, and he is 6th on track. He's going along pretty well. He's only a second back from Louis Laquiez. So hopefully we'll be able to pick him up in just a second. He's only 3/10 back from Riley Phillips. There he is in the background, actually. You can just see him. He is the car behind Antoine Laquiez. And Jay Shepherd, who didn't do the first round, hasn't done too badly since, Qiyam, has he? He's scored in the 50s, which is not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, and he was consistent. 6 in Dijon, 7 and 8 in Manicourt, all in all, after DNF in Essen. So Jay Shepherd is certainly one of the fastest drivers from the UK, along with Pierre Stockton and the others that Chris Hart, of course, that we had the pleasure to have so far with us. So right now, 6th position for him, as you can see this beautiful livery. To me, that's one of the most beautiful liveries that we have on track, and we certainly have more than one really striking for the eye, especially this one, the number 50, the Flower Power livery from the Belgian VW Club. This is actually a livery that exists very much in real life, as for most of the liveries that we have on track. And we have Maximilien behind the wheel, now sitting in 3rd position, 3/10 down into the provisional timeline that we have. Yeah.
Chris Hart falls next after Jay Shepherd in the championship. He is in 13th in the championship, and there we go. He's 13th on track as well. There's a time, though, by the way, in case you forget. 24 minutes and 45 seconds. That's actually very handy to know how long is left. So we're just under 25 minutes remaining. Chris Hart, 13th on track. We'll jump on board with him next. That is actually where he is in the championship as well. 38 points at the second round, and that was, I believe his son was in the car actually at that round and was pretty unlucky, picked up a drive-through penalty which kind of ruined that race. But Chris Hart did pretty well at the last round, Qiyam, 56 points scored, so he was pretty prominent in that one.
Yeah, definitely a good result for Chris Hart, driving the car from the Make Happen Racing. He was 4th in the first race and the 6th in the second. So a name to keep an eye on, definitely. And looking at the championship standings, as we say, is not far off Jay Shepherd, Vincent de Clouseau in 11. So there's a lot of very tiny gaps between the most of the drivers in the standings. And we could see a lot of changes resulting from the 2 races that we're going to have tonight. But the one, one of the main changes that we could see or not, is the one for the leadership of the championship between Hugo de Wilde and Maxime Linard. But we're not there yet. But who knows? That could be interesting to see Maxime Linard getting on top of the standings, and why not? Making one Hugo de Wilde to get back and try to take the leadership once again. So we're not there yet. That's just speculation, but that could be interesting to see if Hugo, of course, is available in the coming weeks, which is not very likely considering the motorsport season is about to begin.
Yes, let's talk about the drivers we haven't. So we've got 8th, 9th and 10th. We'll go through them one at a time. Well, Donat is in 8th place, and again, another driver who looks like he did pretty well at the last round as well. Qiyam?
Yeah, definitely Robin Donat. He wasn't in Assen, and in Dijon, it was his first race. He still needed to get up to speed, but Manicourt was pretty good with 9th and 7th position for him. And Robin Donat was really one of the fastest drivers from the No Limit Racing team, the French champion from 2019 in the Funcup France. So a really good lineup once again from No Limit Racing, and some of the drivers as Robin Donat or the Lachiese brothers more than able to fight at the top, or at least give a hard time to other contenders for the win.
Yes, Donat is 15th in the championship. Just ahead of him by 7 points is Schinkel, who we look at now and had his best score of the season last time. So it can only get better from there. 45 points scored at the last round. And is that everyone? No, we've got Hajouj as well, who is in 10th place. Is that how you pronounce it correctly, Qiyam? Hajouj? Hajou?
Adjud. Yeah, you would say Adjud. Yeah. So his full name is Marwan Adjud. Yeah.
Marwan Adjud. There we go. Does he do any? Do you know of Marwan Adjud from real racing, or is it something you've just come across now in esports?
He's pretty much a rookie, as he described himself, and most of his experience comes from track days and some track practice. I think private practice mostly. Sorry, and but he's part of the No Limit Racing lineup, and he was 6th in the first round in Manicourt, 16 then for the second. So he has the pace, and we shall see what he's going to be able to do. But a good name maybe. We're going to see.
Good stuff. Well, we're over halfway through this session now. So, Qiyam, I'll leave you to do a quick update for us in French of what we've had so far.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Voilà, chers amis, bonsoir à toutes et tous. Si vous nous rejoignez maintenant sur le stream de Riley Motorsport, nous sommes en pleine séance qualificative. Il reste, comme vous le voyez à l'écran, un peu plus de 20 minutes à tenir jusqu'au terme de cette séance de 50 minutes pour obtenir le meilleur chrono possible en vue de non pas une, mais des 2 épreuves qui nous attendent sur ce très très beau circuit de Ledenon. Avec, comme vous le voyez pour l'instant, ce sont les frères Lachiese, Louis et Antoine Lachiese, qui mène pour l'instant le bal au jeu des chronos. Une 39,051 pour Louis Lachiese. Son frère Antoine juste un chouïa derrière avec un 10e et des poussières derrière. Nous avons Maxime Linard en 3e position. Vous avez d'ailleurs les frères Lachiese à l'écran pour l'instant. Maxime Linard provisoirement en 3e position devant Pierre Stockton, Riley Phillips et Jay Shepard. Un trio qui nous vient d'outre-Manche, puisque ce sont parmi les pilotes les plus rapides à participer dans la Virtual Funcup UK, donc de nos amis britanniques. Et puis nous avons ensuite Axel Sawyer, Robin Donat, Christophe Schinkel, Marwan Adjud en 10e position. Juste devant Eric Stelling, 11e, Xavier Veil, Chris Hart, Pierre-André Guillaume au volant de la 500 Pirate, toute de jaune vêtue, et Vincent Lucluso qui ferme la marche en 15e position. Donc nous aurons vraisemblablement 15 voitures pour nous amuser, on l'espère. C'est toujours le cas depuis l'entame de la compétition qui avait lieu à Assen il y a quelques semaines de cela. Vous vous en souvenez peut-être si vous nous avez suivis depuis l'entame de cette compétition virtuelle pour Funcup, mis sur pied par Riley et Andrew Phillips. On les remercie évidemment. Mais ici, nous sommes à Ledenon pour la 4e manche et ça nous promet beaucoup de plaisir sur ce circuit. On ne peut plus challenging avec, comme vous le voyez d'ailleurs à l'écran, beaucoup de changements de niveau avec des virages à l'aveugle, d'autres très très compliqués à négocier. Et nous avons pas mal de choses qui nous attendent pour cette soirée de compétition qui nous tiendra en haleine jusqu'à 23h heure locale. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Qiyam. Get back to those messages, Qiyam. A popular man tonight. Ping it away as we are going through the update there. So we've got still pretty close at the front, isn't it? Lucky A's brothers 1 and 2, 1.5, just under 1.5 tenths between them so far as we are going around the Ledenon circuit. This evening is the Virtual Funcup European Championship. Round number 4. I have to ask you, Qiyam, as you have been here for every round and I haven't, what have you made of all of this so far? I'm not sure if you'd actually, I don't know, from your experience, if you've done a ton of esports before, but what have you made of the championship and how it's progressed each round?
You know, it's fair to say that in terms of esports, my experience is much more limited than yours, Chris, as you're pretty much everywhere for the past few months.
Yes.
But, you know, it's been a surprise. It's been a real pleasure, absolutely, ever since I was kindly invited to join you to commentate in here. And, you know, at first, like everyone, I was following esports before it really became a thing, shall we say, since the first few months of this year, and it became really global everywhere. And you know, I kept following, and you know, had a lot of pleasure, you know, witnessing all those races. And I was very curious to, you know, have a shot at one of those virtual races as we do now. And I must say that it's a thrill. It's really a pleasure from start to finish. And you know, what's really nice to see is, you know, the fidelity of the drivers. Ever since we started, this is our 4th round already, and we keep having the same names. We keep having the same competitors coming back to compete, because, you know, once again, we got to say that the stream that Andrew and Riley Phillips have been working on tirelessly is excellent in terms of quality, and the racing has been absolutely fantastic as well, thanks also to the tracks that have been picked up for the championship. And in terms of really racing, pure racing, you can feel the drivers having a lot of pleasure fighting on track for positions, you know, as they were in real life, you know, considering all the problems that we've had since the start of the year. It's fresh, really fresh, refreshing to see, you know, such a pleasure and such a devotion shown by the drivers that we have here. And I got to say that, you know, many people would say that, yeah, this is only a game, this is not real. But when you see the level of racing, the quality of the competition and the streams that we have, it's almost like the real thing, isn't it? So it's been an absolute thrill since we started together.
Good stuff. Well, while we stay with Riley Phillips, I'm going to ask Andrew, his father, to join us on the stream for a second, who is in charge of the stream. It would be nice to have a quick chat to him, and I can hear that he's enjoyed us. Hello, Andrew. Thanks for coming in. We had a chat at the last UK round last week about this kind of thing, but now we're on the European side. Just a couple more questions I'm sure you could help us with. You know, Riley set this whole thing up, and you've been helping him with it. The UK side has probably been a little bit easier because you guys know all the drivers. Riley races in the UK Championship, so I'm sure getting that one set up was not straightforward, but in terms of getting the drivers in, you knew who they all were. Has that been different with the European Championship? And not only that, when did the idea come up to actually start a European Championship?
Yeah, we did the round of the UK Championship, and you know, obviously Funcup is, you know, spreads across Europe, and yeah, you know, all the drivers, you know, go to Spa, for instance, to do the 25-hour race and things. So it was, you know, other drivers heard about it, yeah, and the organisers of the Belgium and French competitions got in touch with us basically and said, you know, well, this looks like a lot of fun, you know, could we get involved? So then we started going from there, yeah, and yeah, Jean-Luc, obviously, from Team M3M, gave us a lot of help as well. He was a big supporter right from the beginning, and gave us a lot of help. So he organised a lot of the drivers from his side. Yeah, and we gradually worked with bringing on the people and stuff. So it's, yeah, took a little bit longer than the UK side, but
it's certainly been worth it. Have you found any differences between the two?
European side has been there's a lot of the race drivers use simulators. I think maybe some of the race drivers are younger or something. I don't know, but Hugo and the Laquiers, Max Lignard. I think that a lot of these guys were used to simulators and came in fast straight away.
And the UK presence is a little bit thinner than, of course, well, in the UK it's all UK drivers, but it's been nice, isn't it, seeing some of the guys who are running at the front of the UK Championship to cross over and give this one a go and be up there as well.
Yeah, it's been good. I think they've enjoyed the racing, and Jay Shepherd hasn't used simulators a lot, but obviously a great race driver, and he's kind of relished the opportunity to get involved with both the race series and stuff. So yeah, it's been a bit of crossover there from the English guys, and it's good to see them competing against different people. And the competition's been very, very high in this European series, as I say. It's been super quick, and people are obviously putting in a lot of practice to it.
Yeah, tracks now obviously are beginning to open up again. Racing is going along. There was racing at Nürburgring this weekend, for example, with the VLN series. Where does the European series in Virtual Funcup go? How far do you see this European series going?
I don't know. Hopefully, as we see, we're hearing that Hugo might not have time to take part again now, but hopefully it's been fun, and they can find time to come and take part as well, and hopefully we can keep going. I think as we hit maybe the off season, obviously it'll be shorter this year, but we'll try and run a virtual winter series or something to fill the gap up between the real racing season and the off season. I think that's definitely something that we'll try and keep to do. But yeah, we want to try and run this till the end. Hopefully we can keep drivers' interest in it and availability.
And the word, I'm sure, will be out there in the paddocks once the European Virtual Funcup drivers get racing again. That could present an opportunity, couldn't it? As you said, for a winter series as a bit of a warm up to the season.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think it would be great. I think it'd be great to sort of fill that winter gap with some virtual racing. Be good.
And Qiyam, I'm sure I'll hand over to you maybe to ask any questions you have.
You've been quite complete on that part, and once again, we have to thank you, Andrew and Riley, for putting a lot of effort, so much effort for the past few weeks, putting this whole thing together, and it seems to be working pretty good every round. So let's keep it that way, and hopefully, I'm hoping to be able to join you guys for as many races as possible. Even though there's gonna be certainly a busy summer of racing, but as much as I can be here, that would be my pleasure.
Yeah, that would be fantastic, and I really appreciate the effort that you professional commentators and put on this. It's been fantastic.
A professional commentator, as for the other half. I don't know. Qiyam's good at pretending. No, I'm joking. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for coming on the stream. Maybe we'll grab you in during the race as well. But 10 minutes to go, Qiyam. We're getting towards the end. I guess we should start talking about some times. Why don't you give us a rundown of where we are so far?
Yeah, absolutely. 10 minutes to go before checkered flag on this qualifying session. And Louis Laquies, 1:39.51, fastest lap as we speak. Not so much before, a bit more than a tenth of a second faster than his brother, Antoine Laquies. Maxime Lignard down in third position. Pierre Stockton and Riley Phillips with down 7/10 of a second in front of Jay Shepherd, Axel Sawyer, Romain Donat, and Merwan Adjoud, as well as Christophe Schinkel down in 10th position. And Maxime Lignard, as we speak right now on your screen, just put himself in second position, as we have less than 10 minutes to go to try to climb on top and maybe get a pole position for the first race. As a reminder, the fastest in this qualifying session, and a bit of a missed contact over there, hopefully. The fastest in this qualifying session will start obviously from pole position for race 1, but the second race will function with a reverse grid for the top 8. Donc, Louis Laquiez provisoirement en tête, alors qu'il reste maintenant moins de 9 minutes avant la conclusion de cette séance de qualification. Louis Laquiez, jeune français du No Limit Racing Team, champion de France en titre de la Funcup française. Une 39,051, le chrono référence pour l'instant, avec à peine 69 millièmes de seconde d'avance sur le pilote que vous avez à l'écran, Maxime Linard, l'ingénieur du team M3M de Jean-Luc Dubois, et qui a remplacé au pied levé Hugo de Wilde au volant de cette superbe voiture Flower Power, le numéro 50, qui s'est avérée victorieuse lors des 3 premières épreuves aux mains de Hugo de Wilde. Il y a pour l'instant, Maxime Linard tient peut-être le bon bout pour aller déloger Louis Laquiez en tête de la hiérarchie, ce qui serait déjà une première garantie. Pourquoi pas de bons résultats pour lui de la première épreuve. Rappelons qu'il a besoin de 2 victoires pour espérer prendre la tête du championnat provisoire au détriment d'Hugo. Nous ne sommes pas encore là, évidemment. On va attendre la conclusion de cette série qualificative. Antoine Laquiez, le frère de Louis, en 3e position. Pierre Stockton, Riley Phillips et Jay Shepard, les 3 pilotes d'outre-Manche en 4e, 5e et 6e position, devant Axel Sawyer, Romy Donat et Merwan Adjoud, ainsi que Christophe Schinkel, qui boucle pour l'instant un top 10 tout à fait provisoire, puisque les choses peuvent encore se bousculer d'ici les moins de 8 minutes et le drapeau à la main de cette séance qualificative. Thank you, Chris.
Good stuff. I'd like to actually find Antoine Laquiez. We're looking at Maxime Leonard here, and he's incredibly close. Antoine on an outlap, so maybe let's jump back to Maxime Leonard and see if he can improve. We'll jump on board with him actually, then we can see exactly how well he is doing on this lap. You can see the delta, he's up. So this is interesting now. Maxime Leonard, you can see in the little race logic box there that he is over a 10.5 up as we come up towards the end of the lap. However, he does have traffic jumping on board with him now. He has Eric Steinlin ahead, who very courteous there decides to spin off to get out of the way. Now Maxime Leonard is actually chasing Louis Laquiez. Let's see if he can get in a new personal best and put himself on provisional pole. We're coming up towards the end of the lap now. Louis Laquiez has moved out of the way. He's going to jump back into the pits, but this is the final section as they come downhill. Very tricky corner this. See the car getting out of shape, and unfortunately Maxime Leonard has lost time in that final sector, so he's going to stay in second for the time being, but he's definitely getting very close here, Qiyam. He's got a good chance here, Maxime Leonard, to take pole. Maybe we'll find Antoine Laquiez as he was just about to start a lap. We'll jump on board with him and see if he is going to go any quicker here, Qiyam.
Yeah, and this will be no easy task for him. Antoine just on board right here in the first section of the track. Triple left, as we said, 1, 2, 3. And then you go back up all the way down to corner number 5. And certainly one of the trickiest parts where you can easily lose direction and go wide outside of the track. It's fair to say, for those of you watching, that in terms of track limits, the politics for tonight will be up to 10 track cuts, will be a drive-through as a penalty for any driver going up to 10 track cuts, but we'll see how it plays out. Down into the second sector, Antoine Laquiez, and he goes faster at the moment than Louis, so this is going to be close, and we're going to wait for the end of the lap all the way back up. Very interesting to see, actually, because in Ledenon, I've read about the track and what are the key factors to be performant on this track. And it's not really about being the fastest or having the best pace. It's about really being able to line up your car and have a lot of traction outside of the corners because of the different changes of elevations, especially in this part of the track when you need to have a good exit and really be at full throttle on the start-finish straight.
It's uphill that last corner as well, isn't it? So that makes it even tougher, and that just shows Antoine Laquiez lost 2/10 out of that final corner. So getting that right is absolutely crucial. Pierre Stockton, he is in 4th. Maybe we'll find him quickly. Max Leonard has come into the pit lane. He has Riley Phillips behind, so I think we'll jump on board with Riley Phillips here and see how he's getting on, because clearly he is using Pierre Stockton. Last time I was commentating, those two were in a chat together and they were helping each other out. I'm not too sure if that's the case again this time. Oh dear, Riley Phillips just running a little bit wide. Looked to me as if he was going to go far too deep on the brakes, but somehow he's managed to make that work for him, and he's gaining time in the toe. Over 2 tenths quicker at this time here for Riley Phillips. He's now 3 tenths quicker than his personal best. That would put him into 4th place. It wouldn't put him near the top 3. Who seem to be all in a field of their own so far. But this is good stuff here from Riley and Pierce, who seem to be making a good unit together. Riley going slightly deep into the last corner, but again, he's had good traction now. 1.5 tenths up. Will that be enough to put him into 4th place? I don't think it will, but across the line, it's going to be a new personal best for Riley Phillips and a very good time. And you can see, Qiyam, just how close now Pierce and Riley Phillips are.
Yeah, interesting to see indeed with those two. They were able to really pull each other, at least for when it comes to Riley, being able to really try to get close as much as he can with the others up front. But I was afraid for Riley that as you can see, he might be a little bit in the way, Pierce on Riley Phillips. It might lose a bit of time over there. Yeah, you can see on the on board. And once again, oh yeah, no, he's not gonna do it easily for him. And Riley was forced actually to go wide on this particular turn. Back on here on board of Maxime Linard in 2nd position, the engineer of the M3M team, 2nd in the provisional standings as we speak, and one of the top favorites for the victory in Ledenon, and maybe for a place on top of the standings if he's able to make it 1-2 in the 1st and 2nd race. But it's still in 2nd position with a bit over 2 minutes to go now until the checkered flag, and Louis Laquiez in the pit lane at the moment, still in 1st position.
Well, Louis, as you said, Louis Laquier in the pits, so what we're going to have to do is flick between Max Leonard and Antoine Laquier. So we'll quickly switch to Antoine Laquier and see where he is on circuit. So he's on an out lap, so we'll jump back now to Max Leonard. We'll go back on board with him to see how he does on this lap. He's going to have one more at the end of this. Andrew doing a great job as our director as ever in this Virtual Funcup series, both in the UK and European version. We'll have another chat to him in one of the races, if Funcup allows us to, because sometimes it can be chaos all the way until the flag. Okay, Max Leonard not going so well on this lap. Let's find out where Antoine is on his out lap. We know where Max is. Let's find out where Antoine is. Okay, he's coming across the line, so we'll jump on board with him because we can see when we're on board exactly how they're doing on the Delta. You can see in that race logic box. So far he's up, but we're hardly through the first section of corner, so we won't get ourselves too excited just yet. But all he needs to do is find 0.136 seconds and he will be on pole position. But it's a 30-minute race, so it's a long race. Finishing 3rd is absolutely no problem, but so far so good. 0.5 tenths up, make that 7.75 up so far on this lap, and he has Sawyers ahead to try and follow. Now just losing 0.5 tenths through that 2nd section as we now climb downhill, and pretty much matched to what he was before here, Antoine Laquier. This is where the track gets particularly difficult. Riley Phillips taking a lot of curb through that section. Now just over a tenth slower, and the clock has hit 0, so the checkered flag will wave next time anyone crosses the line. And I don't think that Antoine Laquier is going to improve. Maybe we'll jump back to Max Leonard and see if he can improve on his final lap.
Absolutely, Chris. Et nous sommes dans les derniers instants de cette séance qualificative. Le chrono vient de marquer 0 et c'est maintenant ou jamais pour Maxime Linard. Nous sommes à bord du pilote de la voiture numéro 50, actuellement en 2e position. Il ne lui manque que 69 petits millièmes. Ah, et voilà Maxime qui s'arrête en bord de piste. Il n'ira pas au bout de son dernier tour contrôle chrono. Maxime Linard avec celui-ci à bord de Antoine Laquiez, le jeune pilote français No Limit Racing, qui ne sera pas parvenu à déloger son frère Louis de la première position. On va attendre que tout le monde repasse devant le chrono, boucle son dernier tour, comme ici Jay Shepard, le pilote couleur du drapeau de l'Union Jack. Et l'un des pilotes les plus rapides qui nous vient d'outre-Manche, évidemment, Jay Shepherd, avec ses compatriotes Riley Phillips et Pierre Stockton. Ils forment vraiment un tir groupé là-bas entre la 4e et la 6e position. Jay Shepherd, pour l'instant, qui a perdu gros, quand même pas mal dans ce tour. Il en était à 6/10 de perdu. Et à mon avis, ça ne sent pas l'amélioration pour Jay Shepherd, qui accuse tout de même une seconde de retard sur le chrono référence. Nous sommes à bord de Lakiez dans son dernier tour lancé. Le voilà qui va passer juste devant la pit lane et la ligne de chronométrage, à moins qu'il soit reparti pour un dernier tour. Donc voilà, ce sera tout donc pour Lakiez. Poleman au terme de cette séance qualificative. Et voilà tous les pilotes qui rentrent ou qui essayent de rentrer dans la voie des stands. C'était très très chaud là-bas de la barre de Jay Shepherd, ce qui met un terme, Chris, à cette séance qualificative. So we're done with the timings, Chris, for this qualifying session. We're going to have a few minutes break and then we'll be good to go for the first race here in Ledenon.
Yep, we will be back in 5 minutes' time, I believe, and then we will begin our countdown to race. Well, we're going to come back in now for the race. I believe we're actually only 2.5 minutes away from starting, but quickly, I'm just going to bring in Andrew Phillips once again. Andrew, what did you make of that qualifying session then? It's a tough track, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a super tough track, isn't it? The elevation changes, and then there's a lot of looks like adverse camber and real sort of dips right at the apex of corners. So it looks really, really tough. Yeah, first time looking at the track, looks mega.
And I'm correct in saying, we've only got 2 minutes now until race starts, so breaks slightly shorter than what we were expecting, maybe.
Yes, right. So we've got 5 minute, so just a 5 minute break, and it goes really quickly. And then in between race 1 and 2, it'll be a 5 minute interval as well. So not much time really.
No, minute and 40 seconds I can see is till race start. Qiyam, predictions ahead of this one?
Oh, this is going to be a tough one. I'd like to see the brothers Lakiez, go for that one. But again, some of your fellow countrymen, of course, and Maximilien on the front row as well. This is going to be a beautiful battle once again. But the Lakiez brothers are certainly, they do certainly have the pace, as they did back in Manicourt, and they do right now. So that might mean a lot of practice. Behind the curtain for those two to be on top of the game, and that could be nice to see those two on top of the podium. If Maxime Linard, goes all the way to making it 2 victories, that would mean for him first position in the standings. We're not there yet, but that could be nice to see the French brothers getting into the fight. We'll see.
This is going to be the first of 2 races, so we'll have another chat to Andrew between the 2 races. 30 minutes each. The second race will be the top 8 in the finishing order will reverse on the grid. So 8th place will start pole next time. It's round number 4, the Virtual Funcup European Championship, and in about 20 seconds, we're going to be off away and racing for the first race this evening. On pole position, the first of the Laquiers brothers, Max Leonard, splitting them on the front row. And then we got the 2 Brits in Stockton and Riley Phillips, who will no doubt be working together. The lights are now coming on. Any second, we're going to be off away and racing in the Ledenon circuit. And there we go. It's a good start for Louis Laquiers from pole position. Max Leonard alongside is going to have to slot into second, or is he? He's had a good start as well. And Leonard trying to dive down the inside, but Louis Laquiers has just about been able to hold on to the lead. They're still side by side. Max Leonard getting a little bit sideways, and he bumped into Antoine Laquiers, but Leonard seems to have helped him, and he's come away with the lead. Louis Laquiers. Oh, Riley Phillips making contact with Antoine Laquiers, who's trying to get the car slowed. Someone went flying off in the background. I think that might have been Schinkel. Chris Hart seems to have hit problems as well. Right, likewise, Eric Steinley and Riley Phillips is still side by side here with Antoine Laquiers. Pierre Stockton just behind, and out front it is Leonard and Louis Laquiers who are fighting together, Guillaume.
Oui, un excellent départ de la part de Maxime Linard qui donc vient de prendre la première position aux dépens de Louis Laquiers, le jeune français qui était donc en pole position volant de sa machine No Limit Racing. Et voilà à l'écran Maxime Linard, le volant de la numéro 50, juste devant Louis Laquiers. La deuxième bataille, c'est pour la 3e position entre Antoine, le frère de Louis, vous l'aurez compris, et Riley Phillips en 4e position. Et déjà un écart qui vient de se creuser, mais il n'est que très très ténu évidemment cet écart. Alors qu'ils sont côte à côte, Riley Phillips et Antoine Laquiers, une super bagarre déjà dès l'entame des hostilités. Puis nous avons Jay Shepherd, Merwan Adjoud, excellent départ de la part du jeune français qui vient de se hisser en 7e position devant Pierre Stockton, qui je crois est passé au travers de quelques petits ennuis dans ce premier tour très très chahuté, mais en tout cas aucun problème pour Maxime Linard, alors que vous avez Christophe Schinkel qui apparaît en 1e et en 3e position, mais voilà qui dégringole, donc une petite erreur là-bas au niveau du chronométrage, mais vite réparé. Les voilà qui passent devant en quelque sorte notre cabine, et un dépassement, Maxime Linard et Louis Laquiers qui se battent à couteau tiré pour la première position. Est-ce que Louis va déjà pouvoir reprendre son dû en première position? Non, puisque Maxime lui ferme la porte de manière bien autoritaire, et regardez à qui cela profite. Antoine Laquiers qui revient très très proche de son frère là-bas en 3e position, les 2 machines toutes de noir vêtues, et un tassement donc dans l'entame de ce deuxième tour qui peut peut-être profiter à Riley Phillips en 4e position, et qui va certainement rester très attentif à ce qui se passe devant lui, en prenant garde évidemment de ne pas mettre ses roues trop en dehors du circuit. On le rappelle qu'un maximum de 10 franchissements des limites de la piste équivaut à un drive-through, donc un passage par la voie des stands, ce qui évidemment serait très préjudiciable dans l'optique d'un bon résultat. La bataille pour la première place entre Maxime Linard et Louis Laquiers à votre écran pour l'instant. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, very close. You can see Louis Laquiers and Antoine Laquiers. They would have been hoping to get away and try and push each other off into the distance, but Max Leonard has had something to say about that. He leads, and Riley Phillips seems to have got his head around this circuit now, having had 50 minutes to try and learn it, and he is right there in 4th place. Then it's Pierre Stockton and Jay Shepherd who will really need to start working together now. Pierre Stockton dropped back to 8th place at the start, but slowly he's starting to move forward now. He's putting the pressure on fellow Brit Jay Shepherd. Stockton getting a little bit out of shape, and if he can get past Jay, he might be able to try and close down those top 4, but Jay Shepherd likewise might start trying to close him down himself. As contact between the leaders. Leonard off into the barriers, just about managed to avoid it, gets going again, and that looked like Louis Laquiers with a move down the inside, and Leonard just didn't see him coming, Guillaume.
Oui, voilà, premier retournement de situation dans cette épreuve qui arrive très très tôt. Et vous l'avez vu, l'accrochage certainement involontaire entre Louis Laquiez et Maxime Lénard. Et Maxime, eh bien, première grosse victime de ce début d'épreuve puisqu'il a rétrogradé, je regarde, en 8e position alors qu'il menait les débats. Une grosse manœuvre de dépassement en tout cas qui a porté ses fruits, comme vous le voyez pour Louis Laquiez qui a pris le commandement de cette épreuve devant son frère Antoine. Les deux voitures qui se tiennent roue dans roue pour l'instant et qui creusent déjà un petit écart, hein, presque une seconde d'avance désormais sur Riley Phillips en 3e position. Jay Shepherd qui s'accroche juste derrière en 4e place devant Pierre Stockton. Merwan Adjoud qui a donc gagné une position excellente en termes d'épreuve pour Merwan du No Limit Racing Team. Et Maxime Lénard, eh bien catastrophe pour lui après ce passage certainement tout à fait inattendu dans le bac à gravier du premier virage. Eh bien, il va devoir se cracher dans les mains pour revenir et remonter depuis la 9e place et peut-être sauver ce qui peut l'être. Mais certainement pas ce qu'il espérait de ce début d'épreuve, Maxime Lénard, puisqu'il maîtrisait en tout cas les débats devant Louis Laquiez. On l'a dit, les frères Laquiez très ambitieux dans cette épreuve de Ledenon. What a shame, Chris, for Maxime Lénard. He's going to have to work very hard to try to climb up the field and maybe fight back against the Laquiez brothers.
Yeah, well, Pierre Stockton's had a spin. Let's pick him up, actually, because he went off going into the final corner there. We'll have to pick him up now and see where he is and what damage that has done to Pierre Stockton. Here he comes across the line now. So he has dropped down. What's that going to be? Is that what it says? He's in 6th place, but I think he might even be a little bit lower than that. It's the time he lost even more than anything else. You can see 2.8 seconds to 5th place. So he lost a lot of time. Let's find out where Leonard is. We'll go and pick him up next to see exactly where he is. It looked like he'd been making good progress, but I think something else might have even happened here to Max Leonard, because I saw him in about 8th. Now he has dropped to 12th. Such a shame for Max Leonard, Qiyam. How did you see that incident? Did you? I mean, it looked a brave move going into turn 1, really, but just don't think Leonard was expecting someone to go up the inside there.
Yeah, it was a surprising move. I mean, not really surprising to see from Louis Laquiez, who just went for it in the first corner. But, I was rather surprised to see the contact happening, considering that we have like 3 quite fast. I mean, the first 2 left are quite fast, and the track is quite wide on this particular place. So maybe there was room enough for the 2 cars to go side by side, or at least for Maxime Lénard to lift off a bit and allow for Louis Laquiez to go by him and then fight back just on the next corner. So I don't know if he saw him. I guess he saw him coming, or at least he was expecting an attack, but maybe not that soon in that particular corner. So it looks to me it was a racing incident, and Maxime Lénard was the unfortunate victim. But this is going to be interesting to see, because he has the pace, and if everything goes right for him until the end, we could see him, climb up the field and pick up a few places on the way.
Well, don't forget the top 8 reverse. So if he can get to 8th, then he'll put himself in the running to win the second race. And with any of the other front runners down the field, that should be Leonard's aim now, to get that 8th place. Currently, Stockton would start on the front row with the top 8 reverse for race 2. But he will be hoping to move a little bit further up the field than this. He is 3rd in the championship, and with Hugo de Wilde not here, there is a chance for Pierre Stockton to close in to really bridge that gap. But this is the situation Louis and Antoine would have been hoping for. The brothers now well clear from the rest of the field, and Riley Phillips is a good 2.5 seconds back. So these 2 will, I'm sure, follow each other around. And then I don't know what the plan is, whether one of them has won a game of rock, paper, scissors and they're the one that's going to win, or if they're just going to leave it to fight it out between the 2 of them. Riley Phillips 3rd, as we said. Jay Shepherd 4th. Maxi Hajou is in 5th. Sawyers and Stockton, that's our closest battle. But I also want to jump in and see Leonard, because Leonard is in 11th and looks like he's in a good little battle with the likes of Chris Hart and De Cluzo as well, Qiyam.
Oui, alors on va faire un petit point justement, comme vous l'avez écrit, sur la situation de Maxime Lénard que vous avez à l'écran en 11e position. est dans un train de voiture là-bas avec Xavier Well et Vincent Ducluseau juste devant lui et Chris Hart qui vient de nous faire une petite incartade là-bas en sortie du dernier virage, juste avant de remonter donc sur la ligne droite de départ et d'arrivée. Chris Hart qui nous a mis 2 roues, ou au moins la roue arrière dans l'air, mais ce qui lui a fait perdre pas mal de temps. En tout cas, il était au contact de Maxime Lénard et bien tout est à refaire pour Chris Hart que vous avez vu là-bas au fond d'image. On se focus ici il y a un instant sur Maxime Lénard qui va devoir véritablement tout donner pour remonter. Comme Chris vous l'a précisé il y a un instant, il y a peut-être une pole position en jeu pour Maxime Lénard qui peut remonter jusqu'à la 8e place et avec le règlement de la grille inversée pour la deuxième course de ce soir, il se retrouverait donc à nouveau au devant de la meute avec peut-être des bonnes chances de victoire ce coup-ci après l'incident donc face à Louis Laquiès. Voici ici Maxime Lénard, vous le voyez en grosse bagarre, il vient encore de gagner une position Maxime Lénard au détriment de Vincent Ducluseau et sa prochaine victime, pourquoi pas ce même Xavier Well en 9e position. Voilà Maxime Lénard qui est très très proche et qui va sans doute déjà aller à l'abordage au bas de la côte là-bas, qui prend très très large et un superbe déplacement par l'extérieur de la part de Maxime Lénard, magnifique tentative réussie là-bas et Vincent Ducluseau qui en profite pour plonger dans la porte ouverte. Vous le voyez à l'écran, Vincent Ducluseau donc, qui vient de déloger Xavier Well de la 10e place. Xavier qui vient de perdre coup sur coup 2 positions, mais quelle magnifique manœuvre de la part de Maxime Lénard. What a move that was from Maxime Lénard, Chris. What did you make of it?
Yeah, very good, and exactly what he needs to do. As soon as you catch someone, get the move done straight away, and that's what Max Leonard needs to do. Pierre Stockton, his move on Sawyers was made easy because Sawyer basically said, nice to see you, Piers, come in, and off you go. So opened the door and said, there you go. So Pierre Stockton is through, and I think that was a sensible decision from Sawyers. Pierre Stockton has had to do this on quite a few occasions over the UK and Euro Series, recover from an incident, and he's always done it very well. So we'll see where Pierre Stockton can get himself up to. He's got a chance, I'd say, for a top 5. But that depends on whether Hajouj is going to make any mistakes. I say you can see Louis and Antoine Laquiers. They've built their gap to 3.5 seconds now. I'm finding out, Qiyam, that Hugo de Wilde is actually watching us this evening. So hello to Hugo de Wilde, who is joining us from a Twitch feed. And great to hear that you are watching, Hugo. We do miss you, but you've got to give the others a chance to catch up because you have built quite a big gap in the space of 3 rounds, and someone else needs to win. So good to see Hugo de Wilde is still watching. Big season coming up for him this year as well, Qiyam, as he prepares to race in the Formula Renault Euro Cup. And we wish you all the best of luck with that season as well. First round is at Monza in just 2 weeks' time. So best of luck with that. But thank you for tuning in and supporting the stream brought to you by RP Racing. Louis and Antoine leading as we get towards half race distance now, Guillaume.
Et voilà, 18 minutes restant au chrono, nous sommes quasiment à mi-parcours dans cette première épreuve de 30 minutes. Et comme vous le voyez à l'écran, c'est une domination des frères Louis et Antoine Laquiès. À bord de Antoine en 2e position pour l'instant, très très proche de son frère Louis. 2 dixièmes, un peu plus qui les sépare dans l'enchaînement ici dans le 2e secteur du tracé. Et très très belle domination en tout cas des 2 frangins depuis l'entame des débats. Après l'incident, vous l'avez vu précédemment avec Maxime Lénard qui va devoir remonter du Diable Vauvert. Le voilà Maxime au volant de la numéro 50, Flower Power. La voiture qu'aurait dû occuper peut-être ce soir Hugo de Wilde. Eh bien Hugo est dans le sud de la France et il nous a fait un petit coucou. Vous l'avez entendu précédemment dans le chat. Disponible sur Twitch. Riley Motorsport, c'est le nom de la chaîne sur laquelle vous pouvez suivre les débats de ce soir, comme d'habitude depuis l'entame du championnat. Merci à Hugo en tout cas pour cette petite attention et on espère en tout cas que le spectacle de ce soir te plaira tout autant qu'il nous plaît depuis le début et une domination des frères Laquiès. En tout cas, Hugo, certainement en toute sportivité évidemment, s'il veut conserver la tête du championnat jusqu'à un potentiel retour derrière le simulateur, eh bien Maxime Lénard pour l'instant ne fait pas la meilleure des opérations puisqu'il devait s'assurer le maximum de points dans chacune des 2 épreuves. Pour l'instant c'est mal barré s'il veut espérer quitter le Ledenon en quelque sorte en tête de la compétition. Ce sera peut-être partie remise pour la prochaine manche. En tout cas on va suivre avec les 2 yeux bien ouverts la bataille entre Louis et Antoine Laquiès. Et ce sera intéressant de savoir un petit peu ce qu'ils ont chacun en tête, peut-être assurer le doublé ou alors tout donner dans les derniers instants, se battre pour la victoire pour les Lauriers, sachant que plus ils accumuleront de points, plus l'affaire sera bonne au championnat, après leur très très bonne performance, leur double podium de Manicourt il y a 2 semaines de cela. Alors qu'en 3e position, nous avions Riley Phillips, 4 secondes 2 d'écart désormais, de retard dirais-je même pour Riley sur ces deux-là que vous avez à l'écran, Antoine et Louis. 4e place pour Jay Shepherd. Très très belle performance, il faut le souligner, de Merwan Adjoud du No Limit Racing Team, 5e position devant Pierre Stockton, Axel Sawyer 7e devant Robin Donat, Maxime Lénard et Xavier Vell pour l'instant en 10e position. Maxime Lénard 9e qui n'est qu'à un rang avec 2 secondes 3 de retard sur Robin Donat. Il n'est qu'à un rang d'une potentielle pole position pour la prochaine manche, on le disait, avec la règle de la grille inversée pour le top 8, alors qu'il reste un peu plus de 15 minutes à tenir pour Louis comme pour Antoine. Louis, fait en sorte que son frère reste derrière lui, et Antoine pour aller chercher peut-être le petit trou de souris qui lui permettra de faire la différence. Thank you, Chris.
Let's have a look back from Louis Lacquier's camera angle. I've definitely enjoyed that the guys from RP Racing have added over the last few rounds. There you can see that's how close it is between Louis and Antoine Lacquiers as they come down to the final corner. You can take advantage of track limits 9 times, but after that you will find yourself with a penalty. We should see Antoine giving Louis a bit of a push. Here he comes, and there you can see there's the push from Antoine, and that is how two brothers are working together to currently comfortably lead this Virtual Funcup European Championship Round 4 race. Championship wise, this is really good for the both of them, and this is why they both shared podium finishes last time. They didn't take the win though, they were both in the hands of Hugo de Wilde, but it could be 2-1-2 for them the rate they're going. I'll tell you that, they're going along very well. I do actually want to check in with Max Leonard. We'll jump on board with him next, because if we jump on board with him, you'll see that just the driver you can see directly ahead, which is Robin Donat, he currently has the reverse grid pole for race 2. That is the distance between Maxime Leonard and a pole position place for race 2. And it's not a huge gap, is it, Qiyam? In the bottom right, you can see it's only 2.6 seconds. So Leonard has a chance, I'd say, of getting at least 8th place here and a pole position for race 2, which would be a good chance to get some valuable points back for the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fair to say that at this point, he's going to have to wait a little longer if he wants to catch Hugo de Wilde on top of the championship. But still, there's some valuable points to take, as you said, and the pole position for race 2. And but once again, the position should be absolutely fierce in race 2 once again, especially if the Lacquiers brothers make it all the way to the checkered flag for this race. They're building on confidence as they did previously at Manicourt, but this time around, watching the domination that those two are producing at the moment, this gives them a boost of confidence, obviously. And Maxime Lénard is going to have to do a lot if he wants to keep them both behind him for race 2. But as you said, it keeps coming closer to Robin Donat, and this is going to be interesting from Robin. I was talking a bit about another of the young drivers from the No Limit Racing Team, Merwan Adjoud, in 5th position. Has been doing a great job since the start of the race, as he was 10th position, I think, on the grid. He had a good first few laps, and there he's making his way into the top 5 and maybe even more.
Yeah, he's doing very well, isn't he? I think to get higher up now, he'll probably need a bit of assistance, i.e. a big mistake from someone ahead, and Jay Shepherd is very good at those. And I'm going to apologise straight away. Sorry, I had to do it. Sorry, Kate, but Jay Shepherd is good at spinning when he wants to, and you get the delayed reaction. So he'll spin, and then a couple of seconds later, his family watching. No, what have you done that for? But I hope big shout out to them. I've known Jay now for a good few years, and his family. So I hope they're all keeping well. But Piers is the one he has to be wary of now. Pierre Stockton behind. He's catching fairly quickly, and Hajoud, I think. All he has to do really is just move aside and let him through. There's no point in trying to defend from Pierre Stockton, because Piers is on a charge. That's why he's 3rd in the championship. And I think if Hajoud moves out the way, would still start third for the reverse grid race. So we'll have to wait and see what Jesus' approach is going to be, whether he's going to fight Pierce for this or whether he's going to play it safe and just let him through. There's just over 10 minutes to go. So in about 10 minutes' time, we'll see if Louis and Antoine are going to fight for this lead or if they are just going to push each other straight to the line.
Yeah, that's quite a weird dilemma, isn't it, for Pierre Stockton? As you said, sitting in sixth position, is sure to start the second race in third place. But what do you want to do? He seems to be willing to get past Merwan Jude for fifth position, but he knows that by doing that, he's still going to be on the second row of the grid for the second race. But still one place down, and that's part of the rule when you have reverse grid. But that poses you a sort of a dilemma, knowing, okay, what should I do? Should I go for the move with the risk of being taken out or having a contact, or should I keep my place and being in good position for the upcoming race? So, but we're gonna see what he's gonna do, and I think he's gonna go for the move.
Yeah, he's certainly going to do that. Pierre Stockton is a very quick driver. Jude likewise, but Pierre Stockton, there we go, getting a little bit out of shape, and there is exactly the point you were making, Qiyam. So that is the risk you take when you're going for a move late in the race. But now in the background, they've got to be wary of Sawyers and Robin Donat as well. Likewise, Max Leonard will jump quickly back to Max Leonard before we go back to Pierre Stockton. He's got a chance here of getting seventh place. Likewise, if he kicks off ahead, Max Leonard could get a good result here, but we'll quickly flash back to Pierre Stockton because, that's a good camera angle.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that must have just been added for this round. Like that.
Wow, I didn't know we have helicopters on that race.
Oh, if Andrew, if you've got any other new ones, then definitely show us. It's the time to do it. We get new ones every single race.
Yeah.
They're great, they are. It's
Beautiful.
bad for father and son who've never worked in broadcasting before, is it? Not bad at all. As they drop downhill, this is going to be Leonard going down the inside. Oh dear, there's contact. And he's, there we go. Two drivers round, and Leonard Qiyam up to seventh.
Et voilà, un peu d'action là-bas dans le bas du circuit de Ledenon et qui fait les affaires de Maxime Linard qui a dépassé non pas un mais deux pilotes, Axel Sawyer et Robin Donat. Malheureusement un petit contact lors de la première tentative et Robin qui s'est retrouvé à contresens du circuit. Et puis Axel Sawyer qui a coupé la trajectoire, ce qui a permis à Maxime de se frayer un chemin alors que nous sommes ici en pleine bagarre entre Merwan Adjouj et Pierre Stockton. Pierre Stockton qui va tenter de prendre l'intérieur et de ravir pourquoi pas la cinquième place au jeune pilote français de No Limit Racing, Pierre Stockton. Il y a évidemment beaucoup de points en jeu dans l'optique du championnat. On le disait, le pilote britannique qui est troisième pour l'instant dans la hiérarchie provisoire. Il y a beaucoup de points à prendre donc pour Pierre Stockton, d'autant que Maxime Linard est en difficulté derrière lui. Il grappille également des positions, Maxime, il grappille des points évidemment dans l'optique de la compétition. Il n'est pas loin derrière. Vous pouvez le voir effectivement juste derrière la voiture de Jay Shepherd, donc cette machine turquoise. Eh bien, dans le fond de votre image, c'est Maxime Linard qui voit sa proie se rapprocher. Et voilà une opportunité à saisir certainement. Il reste un peu moins de 8 minutes à courir dans cette première épreuve ici à Ledenon. Et vous le voyez, Merwan Adjouj poursuivi non pas par une, mais deux voitures, celle de Jay Shepherd et de Maxime Linard, avec, on le disait, un double enjeu, une position à des points également dans l'optique du championnat, une position peut-être plus avantageuse ou pas sur la grille de départ avec les risques que cela comporte d'aller chercher le plus de points possible, mais avec un prix à payer, c'est d'être peut-être moins bien placé pour la course 2. Nous verrons évidemment ce qu'il en sera d'ici 7 minutes et des poussières avant le drapeau à damier, mais certainement pas mal de boulot pour Merwan Adjouj qui faisait jusqu'ici une superbe performance de la 10e à la 5e position, mais il va devoir vraiment regarder dans ses rétros à plus d'une reprise pour, d'une part, conserver Pierre Stockton dans ses rétros et empêcher aussi Maxime Linard d'aller le chatouiller de trop près. Thank you, Chris.
Good stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, let's look back very quickly from Stockton, particularly now. He's just made a slight mistake. Looking back, that's the gap between him and Leonard. And this is exactly the view Stockton's going to be seeing in his mirrors. And he's going to see Leonard getting closer and closer. And if we go on board with Stockton now, you'll see that is what's going to be making him do this, get directly up the inside of Mohan Hajoud, and it looks like he's just about got through. So he's been lining that move up at that corner for a while now. And Hajoud is going to try and fight him back. There you can see, bit of contact. Stockton and Hajoud side by side. Oh no, Stockton's gone round. Hajoud's gone round as well. And
my God.
they're still going into each other. They've not done with each other yet, have they? Stockton eventually gets going. And Hajoud now just starting to recover. Well, Hajoud, I'm sorry to say, kicked that one all off when he made contact straight into the back of Stockton. Stockton, it was enough for him to be spun round, and Hajoud spun round as well. And Leonard, although he could have a penalty for one of the moves he made earlier, Leonard somehow is now in fourth.
Yeah, incredible recovery thanks to some on-track events, obviously. The race just went from racing to corrida for just a split of a second there. But, two drivers out, at least losing a lot of positions, and one really, picking up the pieces, Maximilien in full position. And the question now, will you have enough time, a bit more than 5 minutes, to try to close up to Raleigh Phillips? That's in doubt. But Maxime has been putting on a good pace since the start of the race. But, he can be very, very happy considering the start of the race. He can be happy with fourth place at the moment. And, there's a lot of hopes for the championship. But what a turn of event it was. And, unfortunately for Merwan Adjouj, we just fell down the order down to 8 just after Pierre Stockton in 7th. So not too much trouble in terms of places lost for those two. But yeah, of course, they could have expected much more without this contact. Quite a weird contact, but, as it happens. Especially on that part of the track, when you need a lot of traction, a good throttle just to make your way out of the corner. And this can be tricky, as we've just seen.
The thing is, it's uphill, isn't it? The exit. So if you get spun round, you're going to be in a very dangerous position where you could be basically going backwards for a couple of seconds. But the reason Leonard is in fourth is because Jay Shepherd is out. He's out the race now. We believe that's probably for track cuts that he's picked up a penalty and he's been sent back to the pits. He can rejoin, so we should see Jay Shepherd back out in race 2. But unfortunately, he's been taken out of the race. I don't think it was anything due to signal because he would have completely left. His name wouldn't be seen to the left, but. I believe that is going to that they are going to be due to track cuts. So Jay, if you are listening, or anyone with Jay is listening, then you can rejoin. So you can get back out, I'm told, and go back out onto circuit and finish this race. So if Jay is listening, then get yourself back in, stop moaning, and get back on with the race. I believe that would have been track cuts. Real shame because he was doing really well there in 4th place. But hopefully we'll see Jay back out. He'll have to leave and rejoin the server, I'm being told as well. So Jay, if you're listening, leave, rejoin the server, and join back in and get yourself ready for race 2 and a big recovery through the field. Really hope to see Jay back out there. Did really well up until that point as well. 4th place up until that problem. But we've got another race to go. We've got another 30-minute race to go. So hopefully we'll see him back out in that one. Well, we haven't talked about these two for a while, Qiyam, but they're fighting for the lead. Louis and Antoine Laquiers. Antoine has been pushing Louis so far. We're going to be, I'd say we've got 2 laps remaining. And that is how close it is. Now, what do they do? Do they battle? They've got 14 seconds gap, 30 seconds almost till max. So I'd say they should fight, right? And see who wins. I mean, they might just decide to push each other home, but I'd like to see these two fight it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the sake of racing, and I'm sure that they're having a lot of fun already. We're trying to keep up with each other. But why not? If I were Antoine behind the wheel, I'd like to go for maybe one last attempt. Just try to tease my brother a little bit, and if it doesn't go well, I stay behind. But there's always a risk of touching each other and getting kicked out or losing positions. Even though Riley Phillips is quite far off, as you said, but this would be too bad for those two if they would take them. They would take each other out in that last lap or the penultimate lap. It is. We're gonna have confirmation of that in a second. But yeah, I think Antoine is gonna go for the move. Yeah, he does, and brilliantly done from Antoine Laquiez, who goes around the inside. And I think Louis is gonna fight back. They're gonna be side by side on the way up to the hill. And I think Louis is going around the inside of the corner right there and taking the lead back. That was close, but Antoine made his move, but Louis fought back and took it again. And I'm sure he's going to try again. He's going to try again. Still a bit less than half a lap to go. And yes, Antoine going around the inside once again. And the touch! Oh my God. This will end bad. Hopefully not. It was close.
You sound like a scared mother, Qiyam. Don't worry, they're still doing okay. But Louis and Antoine Laquiez have finally decided to start fighting this one out on what we believe is the penultimate lap. We don't know. There we go. Two professional commentators, and we don't even know, Qiyam. But I believe this is the penultimate lap as they make their way down to the final section now. And it is as close as it's ever been with Louis and Antoine Laquiez as they make their way down to the final corner. And Antoine's going to try and move. Louis has given him the room to do it. And Antoine is going to go through. So they're going to be side by side on their way up to the line here. Antoine has got through. All helps to the fact that Louis did give him the space as they now make their way up towards the line, side by side. Who got across the line first? It was Louis Laquiez who got across the line first. And that, I believe, is race one victory for Louis Laquiez. Stole it at the line there, Qiyam. And they swapped places twice out of the final corner, pretty much.
Yeah, it was beautiful, and that's what you said. Sorry, Chris, earlier, and that's what we expected to see, and it just happened. A beautiful battle in the last 2 or 3 laps, and they just went for it. It was brilliant, but hopefully, and luckily for them too, they didn't take each other out in the process of battling, but it was close. But a beautiful finish for this first race, and a victory for Louis Laquiez on the line, pretty much in front of his brother Antoine in second position. Then Riley Phillips back on the podium and in front of Maxime Minard, who made such a strong recovery, helped a little bit as well by some on-track drama, but that's part of the race, isn't it? Axel Sawyer done in 5th, Pierre Stockton in 6th, then we have Robin Donat in 7th position, Merwana Juge down in 8th position, who could have expected maybe to finish into the top 5. Then we have Xavier Well in 9th and Vincent Ducluseau closing at the top 10.
And why don't you give us a summary, Guillaume, for our French-speaking viewers?
Absolutely. Et voici donc, chers amis, une fin de course absolument fantastique. Le duel somptueux jusque dans les derniers instants, les derniers mètres avant la ligne d'arrivée entre Louis et Antoine Laquiez. On le disait qu'ici, le doublé, ils avaient déjà ébloui véritablement le peloton et très impressionné lors de la double manche de Manicourt en montant à chaque fois sur le podium. Et bien voilà, ils ont gagné un rang en première et deuxième position. Ce fut très très serré jusqu'au bout. Mais Louis l'emporte devant Antoine. Riley Phillips de retour sur le podium en troisième position. Maxime Minard, superbe remontée de la part du pilote du Belgian Very Club pour cette manche à Ledenon, qui espère sans doute plus, évidemment, avec une victoire qui lui tendait les bras, a tout perdu, ou du moins beaucoup lors de ce contact avec c'était Louis Laquiez lors de la bataille des premiers tours. Mais malgré tout, il a pu sauver ce qui pouvait l'être. Maxime Minard en quatrième position. Et voici, comme vous pouvez le voir à l'écran, bien, la formation de grille pour la deuxième épreuve de ce soir. Dans moins de 5 minutes, on sera prêt à repartir pour la deuxième manche au programme. 30 minutes à nouveau pour se battre et pour aller tenter de récolter ce qui peut l'aider, d'aller chercher les points et peut-être dans certains podiums et victoires. Et on va refaire le point sur la hiérarchie de la grille de départ, évidemment. On le rappelle, le top 8 est inversé. Donc concrètement, celui qui a terminé en 8e position lors de la manche précédente bien, partira de la pole position, ce qui devrait faire les affaires de certains, moins des autres. Mais Maxime Minard, certainement, partira donc 4e sur la deuxième ligne de la grille de départ, avec la victoire en ligne de mire, évidemment, puisque ça signifiera beaucoup de points pour lui de prix et de shipper un Hugo de Wilde, qui évidemment n'est pas là malheureusement pour défendre ses chances, peut-être à une prochaine manche si son programme très très chargé lui permet. On rappelle que la saison 2020 de la Formule Renault Eurocup commence dans deux petites semaines et un programme complet pour Hugo. On lui souhaite évidemment bonne chance à notre jeune compatriote belge sur les routes de la Formule Renault Eurocup, une des disciplines évidemment de monoplace les plus compétitives à l'heure actuelle, avec beaucoup de succès pour Hugo et peut-être pourquoi pas un retour à venir dès qu'il en aura l'occasion pour se détendre, par exemple, et bien derrière son simulateur pour la Funcup virtuelle. En attendant, on revient vers Chris McCarthy pour nous refaire le point à quelques instants du départ de cette deuxième manche. Thank you, Chris, and over to you.
Thank you, Qiyam. I'm going to bring Andrew back in very quickly while we have just over 3 minutes before the next race and ask Andrew actually about his thoughts on, whilst running this championship, how esports has absolutely exploded and how that's been to see. Of course, we had the virtual 24-hour of Le Mans race just a couple of weeks ago, Andrew, and how has it been to see since working on this championship esports get to the level it has?
It's been really interesting, yeah, and so jealous of you being involved in the virtual Le Mans race. It must have been absolutely amazing. I think, from what I saw, the technology and everything that they put in place for that was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable to be a part of the event. Huge amount of viewers. I don't think I've ever seen that many viewers tune in for an esports race. The grid as well, and Qiyam, come over to you. It's probably going to be the only time. The sad thing is, it's probably going to be the only time you get an event that big in esports. Yeah,
absolutely. Of course, it's very much down to the fact that we couldn't race on real tracks for so long, for the situation that we all know. But to see such an interest not only from the public, but as well from the racers and the drivers, to compete not only in Le Mans but in all sorts of series that we've seen, popping up and being created. Sometimes in just hours and just a few days after the real racing was cancelled, unfortunately. But it has been absolutely fantastic to see, and the Le Mans 24 hours was just the cherry on the cake in this fantastic adventure for esports. It's the start of the year, and as you said, you were there, and we followed. I'll be honest, I followed some parts of the race, not the entire race, because it's still 24 hours to be up for. But for the most I've seen, it was the level of racing, the level of streaming and covering for the race was like never seen before. And hopefully, I would say hopefully we'll get another chance in the future to see that sort of event happening. Because the interest was there from the public. So why not?
Put it this way, I'll be very surprised if it doesn't happen after to being there and the conversations that were being had. I would definitely say it's going to happen and would be an ongoing thing. But the best thing to see of it was how serious the teams took it. I mean, Toyota had all their drivers together. Ferrari had all their drivers at Maranello and all the engineers working together. And it was a brilliant team building exercise, as well as a lot of other things for all the teams and drivers out there. And as you said, they took it as seriously as they would the real Le Mans. But we'll hopefully talk a little bit more about it in the race. Right now, we're going to be going for race number 2 of round number 4. The top 8 have been reversed on the grid for this race. Qiyam, I'll hand over to you for the race start.
Thank you, Chris. Et voici, chers amis, dans quelques instants, les secondes qui s'égrènent avant le départ de cette deuxième manche de 30 minutes pour définir donc le vainqueur final de cette épreuve. D'ici quelques instants, dès que les feux rouges s'éteignent, on sera parti pour 30 minutes d'épreuve avec Robin Donat. Les voilà qui s'élancent. Excellent départ de la part du poleman Robin Donat du No Limit Racing. Jay Shepherd juste à ses côtés avec Adrien Chiesa, je pense, juste derrière. Ça se tambourine déjà un petit peu. Nerwana Jude en deuxième position. Robin Donat, Jay Shepherd juste devant, alors que ça joue des porteurs, ça joue des coudes là-bas dans les enchaînements du triple gauche vers la montée et la descente vers le virage numéro 5. Un peloton encore très très compact naturellement. Alors que nous avons Merwana Jude qui est passé en première position, effectivement, juste devant Riley Phillips. Excellent envol de la part du peuple britannique. Attention, accrochage là-bas avec une des M3M, malheureusement, qui a été propulsée. Je crois que c'est Axel Sawyer, si j'ai bien vu, qui a été propulsé en dehors du circuit dans une toupie là-bas, bien involontaire. Et Riley Phillips là-bas qui se bat contre Merwan Adjoud. Et voilà peut-être un nouveau changement de leader avec Riley qui tente de faire l'extérieur. Mais Merwan très intelligemment qui ferme la porte et qui va pouvoir faire de même dans l'enchaînement du virage à droite juste avant le retour de la montée. Non, Riley Phillips qui prend la tête des hostilités devant Merwan Adjoud. Robin Donat en 3e position. Antoine Laquiez en 4e position devant son frère Louis, le vainqueur de la première manche. Très très compact dans ce premier tour, très agité. Et vous avez à l'écran Maxime Lénard au volant de la Flower Power qui tentait de se défaire d'un des frères Laquiez semble-t-il. Et retour en tête, Riley Phillips qui s'est joué donc de Merwan Adjoud dans ce premier tour. Et voilà qui en dit long donc sur l'ambition de Riley Phillips. Excellent départ et un excellent premier tour de la part de l'initiateur de cette compétition cette saison. Et il va falloir donc compter sur Riley pour se battre pour la victoire. Et attention, Merwan Adjoud qui n'a pas dit son dernier mot. Ils sont côte à côte au passage de la ligne de départ et d'arrivée à l'assaut du premier virage. Merwan Adjoud qui reprend la tête, mais Riley Phillips qui reste à ses côtés et il va devoir s'incliner. Retour en tête pour le pilote français. What a start of the race, Chris, and the battle is on.
Yeah, still on, as you said, Riley Phillips. Right, and Moen Hajoud still side by side here. The two Laquiers brothers are just behind. Riley Phillips could get caught out here. He's trying to turn in desperately. As you can see, Antoine Laquiers is about to come down the inside there, but Laquier is not able to make that move. So Riley Phillips, he's now going to try once again on Moen Hajoud, who takes a wider line, and Phillips sees the opportunity and through he goes to take the race lead. Now Antoine Laquiers will want to get past Hajoud very quickly, but Hajoud did a great job in defending from Pierre Stockton last time, so we cannot write him off here. But one thing Riley Phillips and Moen Hajoud cannot Louis Laquiers get away out front. If they are 1 and 2 out front, then they could get away, Qiyam.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fair to say that Riley Phillips has been impressive already in the first one, but in this race especially, considering that he didn't have much time before the race to practice on this track. So he's very unfamiliar with the Ledenon layout, but still he's showing improving pace lap after lap. And you can see that in front of Merwan Adjoud, he's doing a good job at, keeping all the doors closed and is starting to build a bit of a gap. But it's going to be a French battle behind him with the Laquies brothers and Merwan in 2nd position. Robin Donat as well in 5th place. Axel Sawyer down in 6th. There could be a chance as well for Maxime in the flower part number 50 because the field is still very, very much tight in those first laps. And if Maxime plays it safe and plays it smart, he could start to make his way up to 1st position or maybe try to get on the podium this time.
Yep, on board we go with Max Leonard. Ahead of us is Robin Donat. We've got Hajoud just ahead of that. You can see the top 4. Leonard in 6th here, trying to get this move done on Robin Donat. And Robin just having to defend here. Leonard's going to tuck in behind as they go up to this tight left-hander. Donat's from wide, so Leonard says thank you very much. He goes through. So it's 6 for the lead here in the early stages of this second race around the Ledenon circuit for Virtual Funcup European Championship round number 4. Riley Phillips is your leader, then it's Antoine and Louis Laquiers, and then Moen Hajoud is just ahead of us. But Moen Hajoud has made a mistake. He's gone a little bit wide there. Leonard wasn't quite able to take advantage, but you can see the gap that has been able to be built there from Louis Laquiers, who is just around 4 tenths behind. Oh, Leonard's going to tap into Moen Hajoud, and you could see that happening from a mile off. Leonard going far too deep on the brakes, and poor old Moen Hajoud has been tagged, and he is going to drop down the lower order of the top 10 here. And Max Leonard once again going a little bit too deep on the brakes, almost going into the back of Robin Donat, but Robin Donat just about able to get out of the way of the fast Max Leonard, who had gone far too deep on the brakes there. So a gap has been built to the top 3, and Leonard continues here, Qiyam, to try and get 4th place.
Yeah, and those cars are solid, and that's a chance because there's a lot of door banging over there from the drivers since the start of the race. Mais voilà, donc dernier fait de course en date, et malheureusement la malchance qui s'est abattue sur Merwan Adjoud qui se bagarrait pour une place potentielle sur le podium après un étincelant début de course et sa bagarre face à Riley Phillips, mais une petite erreur l'a précipité en dehors du top 4 avant malheureusement un accrochage avec Maxime Lénard. Maxime Minard qui avait été lui-même victime de pareilles mésaventures lors de la première course, lors de sa bagarre dans les premiers tours avec les frères Laquiez. Et voici ici la chance, c'est la chance qui quitte plutôt Merwan Adjoud qui est retombé en 7e position. Mais la course annonce longue évidemment, donc tout est à refaire, mais il a encore du temps pour pouvoir s'y appliquer. Merwan Adjoud 7e, 3 dixièmes de retard sur Vincent Ducluseau en 6e position. Romain Donat qui passe en 4e position devant Maxime Ménard. C'est la bagarre qui nous occupe plus loin dans le peloton, puisqu'à l'écran nous avons Riley Phillips pourchassé par les frères du No Limit Racing Team, Laquiez, Louis et Antoine Laquiez. Belle bagarre là-bas et Riley Phillips qui tente le tout pour garder les frères juste derrière lui. Ça va être très très compliqué avec Antoine Laquiez qui va tenter de prendre l'extérieur sur le pilote britannique, et ça se touche légèrement avec Antoine Laquiez qui doit passer ou couper la trajectoire dans le dernier virage du circuit avant la remontée sur la ligne droite des stands. C'était très très chaud là-bas, mais Louis Laquiez en a profité pour ravir la première position. Riley Phillips, vous les voyez qui passent juste devant la ligne de départ et d'arrivée. Riley en 2e position, qui va peut-être tenter déjà d'aller titiller son adversaire dans le premier gauche. Le 2e, ça ne passe pas. Et Riley Phillips qui se montre généreux avec le franchissement des vibreurs là-bas, et ça passe. La 3e fut la bonne. Riley Phillips de retour en tête, mais Louis Laquiez va tenter peut-être, pourquoi pas, de contre-attaquer dans le run jusqu'à la descente au freinage appuyé. Louis Laquiez qui prend la corde, garde pas évidemment se toucher de trop à perdre le contrôle, et regardez qui en profite derrière. Eh bien c'est Antoine Laquiez qui va peut-être tenter de ravir la 2e position, en tout cas de refaire son retard. Ça c'est fait après sa petite faute de la fin du dernier tour, et ça se touche légèrement là-bas, mais Riley Phillips tient bon. Il est toujours en tête, le pilote britannique vaille que vaille, mais Louis et Antoine Laquiez n'ont pas dit leur dernier mot. Il reste un peu plus de 20 minutes à tenir pour Riley et un peu plus de 20 minutes pour les frères Laquiez d'aller ravir la première place, et pourquoi pas de signer un nouveau doublé dans cette double course de Ledenon. Mais mon Dieu, que c'est serré. Thank you, Chris.
Riley Phillips really having to get his elbows out here. I'd say there's been some questionable moves on all 3 drivers' parts so far, but so far it is Riley Phillips, Louis and Antoine Laquiez in that order. I'll tell you what's going to be interesting, isn't it? Post-race interviews. There's going to be some... we're going to have to try and get them all into different chats here, otherwise we'll just have to turn the microphones off and leave them to it. But Riley Phillips, Louis Laquiez and Antoine Laquiez in that order for the lead. Ducluseau very close with Merwan Hajoud. Leonard is down in 6th, trying to recover. He's got Robin Donat behind, and Schinkel and Veal have just swapped places for 8th as well. But we cannot take our eyes off these 3. This is the battle for the lead of the race. It is Riley Phillips leading Louis and Antoine Laquiez as they come through the first 3 corners. And it finally seems that they have looked at the clock and realised that we've still got over 20 minutes to go in this race. But as I say that, Louis Laquiez moving to the outside there to try and get a move done on Riley Phillips. Antoine Laquiez is now going to be side by side with Louis, and you can just tell how hard Riley Phillips is having to fight there as Louis Laquiez almost 4 wheels off the track as he tried to make a move on Riley Phillips. Antoine Laquiez once again is going to come around the outside. He's going to be right on the rear bumper now of Riley Phillips as they come downhill once more. We're only a third of the way through the race. It feels like we've almost done the whole thing, all the moves that are being made here by these 3. It's absolutely brilliant racing. This is Fun Cup racing for you. It's not just brilliant racing, it's Fun Cup racing. As we look back here from Riley Phillips, brilliant view. You can see there Louis Laquiez, a bit unsure about what he wanted to do there, whether he wanted to go up the inside of Antoine or whether he wanted to stay behind. The characteristics of the car there, the body language of the car, sorry, didn't really know what he wanted to do. But I can tell you, Antoine certainly knows what he wants to do, and that is get down the inside of Riley Phillips, but he hasn't been able to do it so far. Is he going to be able to do this to the end, Qiyam? Riley Phillips, white line it as such all the way to the flag?
To be in the seat of Riley Phillips at the moment, because with such a heat that he has on his shoulders coming from those 2 brothers, and there's a change maybe for the lead with Antoine Laquiez going around the outside in the first 2 left, and try not to go too wide in this particular turn because it could be costly. But Riley Phillips will hold on to the lead and keeps on closing all the doors. And there's some maybe wheel banging and a change potentially for the lead with around the outside Antoine Laquiez. pay attention to Louis. He might try to take advantage of the situation and go for second place as well. And there's a change. Riley Phillips just taken into sandwich between those two. And Antoine Lacaze just made his move and is now in first position. And Louis Lacaze might try to do the same on Riley. And there he goes, around the inside. And Riley Phillips is going to try to fight back. Oh, this is going to be tricky. But he goes in second place and stays there for maybe one more corner. Oh, what a battle. What a race that is.
Yeah, that was a brilliant, brilliant move, I have to say, by Antoine Lacaze, potentially the best we've seen so far. Interesting situation. Riley could be putting Louis in here because he's now defending from Louis and he's almost saying, you know, we either work together now or you keep fighting with me and Antoine gets away. So it's quite an interesting situation. Riley's putting Louis in here. If they'd both gone past, then they'd be pushing each other off into the distance potentially now. But Riley has kept himself in this fight, and being in the middle is actually a fairly good position for him to be in. So they can see Riley, look, defending from Louis. And although people would say that's not the best thing to do, in this situation, I'd say it is. But as I say that, looks like Louis was about to get through, not quite able to do it. Antoine brushing the gravel there, seemed to just take a little bit of pace off the car, but he still holds a 1 second advantage now, Qiyam, as once again they're side by side in the distance. But I'll hand over to you to do another update in French for us.
Thank you, Chris. Et nous voilà au cœur de la bataille entre Antoine Lacaze, son frère Louis et Riley Phillips. La bataille pour la victoire qui nous occupe un peu plus de 17 minutes du drapeau d'amis dans cette deuxième épreuve, et elle fait rage. Et à qui profite-t-elle? Antoine Lacaze qui a ravi donc la première position il y a quelques tours de cela à Riley Phillips, le pilote britannique que vous avez à l'image là-bas en deuxième position pour la 994 et qui vient de se faire légèrement toucher. D'ailleurs, il y a contact là-bas. Est-ce que Louis Lacaze va pouvoir passer? Oui, il prend l'avantage au freinage et à la corde d'une des épingles au cœur du tracé de Ledenon. La remontée vers le haut du circuit, on disait beaucoup de changements d'élévation sur ce tracé de la région du Gard. Et Riley Phillips qui contre-attaque magnifiquement. Et attention au croisement de trajectoire puisque Louis Lacaze n'a pas dit son dernier mot. Riley qui va peut-être tenter de rester à ses côtés. Son portière contre portière, ça... ce virage de cela. Je pense même que Riley Phillips a commis une petite erreur là-bas qui aurait pu lui coûter cher. Mais il se maintient donc bien sur la piste et va certainement tenter une nouvelle manœuvre de dépassement. Les voilà au cœur magnifique de la bataille. Nous sommes à bord de la machine de Louis Lacaze en deuxième position avec Riley Phillips qui va tenter de lui faire l'aspiration au passage du premier virage. Le premier gauche très très rapide avant une portion un peu plus appuyée au niveau du freinage. Mais pour l'instant, ça tient bon pour Louis. Et plus j'ai parlé trop vite puisque Riley Phillips, lui ravi la deuxième position, mais gare à la descente vers l'épingle du virage numéro 5, puisque Riley vient de prendre l'avantage. Mais regardez Louis Lacaze qui n'a pas dit son dernier mot et qui en veut toujours plus, le jeune français du No Limit Racing. Superbe bagarre, ils sont côte à côte dans la remontée. Et à qui cela va-t-il profiter? Riley qui pour l'instant a l'avantage théorique de la corde. Et il se repasse et revient en deuxième position. Mais il faut le souligner, cette situation profite à l'autre frère Lacaze, Antoine, en tête de cette épreuve, et il ne cesse de creuser l'écart alors qu'on a cette superbe vue aérienne. Et regardez comme ça se touche d'ailleurs, et il a peu la faute malheureusement, l'accrochage qui précipite Louis Lacaze en dehors de la piste. Et voilà la deuxième position qui lui échappe peut-être pour de bon, le jeune pilote français. Ah, c'est un incident de course sans doute, mais voilà le résultat de se bagarrer roue contre roue, virage après virage. Et Louis Lacaze qui peut se mordre les doigts de ne peut-être pas avoir laissé davantage d'espace à son adversaire, et Riley qui est allé à l'abordage en deuxième position. Mais on est loin d'avoir tout vu, laissez-moi vous dire. 15 minutes encore à courir jusqu'au drapeau à damier. Riley Phillips, Louis Lacaze, c'est la bataille pour la deuxième position dans cette épreuve. Et Antoine Lacaze qui n'en demandait pas tant, presque 4 secondes désormais d'avantage. Antoine Lacaze, Chris, was really pulling away, taking advantage of the situation, the battle between Louis and Riley Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Riley would push Louis along once Louis had got past, but he's shown his hand early. He knows he doesn't have the pace to finish any higher than third in this race, and that is why he is doing exactly what he is doing. And Riley Phillips will really be frustrating Louis, and that is exactly what he wants. As you can see, a couple of small incidents, and Louis starting to get really aggressive now. And just a little touch on Riley. Riley's gone wide, and Louis is now through. But I'm sure Riley will be back for another go at this as they make their way up to the left-hander. Let's quickly look away. So here's Leonard. He is now fighting for, is this fourth? Yes, it is. So
Yes.
Leonard fighting for fourth place with Merwen Hajoud. We'll jump on board, shall we, with Max Leonard as he makes his way now downhill. So we'll have a look on board with Leonard at the see what the gap is to Merwen Hajoud. You can see it's just half a second, and we'll see if Leonard is able to get a move done on him. So this is your battle for fourth place. Donat is in sixth place. We'll have a quick look at Robin Donat. There you can see he is sixth. Behind him, we'll look back to De Clouseau. He is in seventh, and then back we go to Schinkel. Schinkel is in eighth. There he is. He's not far behind, is he? De Clouseau, only a second. And then as we go back, we've got Chris Hart in ninth, and then we've got Sawyers in 10th place. Veal, Eric Steinlein, and Pierre-Andre Qiyam are out of the top 10. We've sadly lost Stockton and Shepherd. But who should we go back to? Let's go to Leonard. Let's jump on board with Max Leonard, because it looks like Louis got a gap now. There you can see. So on board we go with Leonard. Hajoud just ahead. And it's just not been a good day for Leonard, is it? It's just not been his day. Sometimes everything goes against you in racing, doesn't it, Qiyam? And that has happened to Max Leonard today, but he's got a chance of fourth place, and in the circumstances of this race, I'd say he'd have to take that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I'm sure Maxime would have hoped for another turn of event, and another result at the end, but twice fourth position, if he goes that way, if he's able to get past Merwen Hajoud, wouldn't be a bad result at all, considering the contact that he had in the first few laps of the first race against the Lakies brothers. That's part of racing, and Maxime now knows that, obviously. I'm sure he would have hoped to make it a double win and being able to lead the championship from Hugo de Wilde after this round. This won't be the case, but there's still a lot more races to come in this virtual series to do so. Next time around, we will be in Paul Ricard in the half of July for another round on the French track. There's a lot